Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into Chapter 5 of our source text, and we're looking at something pretty fascinating, confronting what the text calls evil spirits. Now, whether you take that literally or see it as a really powerful metaphor for psychological distress and negativity, the strategies we're going to unpack for building mental resilience, they are literally a game changer. We're going to break down the step-by-step guide to completely fortifying your mind.
Okay, so here's our survival guide for your peace of mind. We're going sequentially through the author's logic today. We'll hit the source of negativity, clearing those mental clouds, the sheer power of self-reflection, embracing bright thoughts, and finally, immersion in meaningful work. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The source of negativity.
So the text describes these evil spirits not as, abstract monsters hiding under your bed, but as souls suffering from a sickness of the mind. Think persistent anxiety, dissatisfaction, just a constant stream of complaints. But here's the real question. Why do we attract this negative energy in the first place? The author asks us to flip our perspective. Instead of seeing a bout of negativity as just some random, unprovoked attack from the outside, we need to treat it as an internal vulnerability. If these forces are getting to you, the text argues it's actually because there's something inside your own mind leaving the door wide open.
And that brings us to this universal law highlighted in the text: like attracts like. According to the spiritual worldview, negative spirits are naturally drawn to minds that are already clouded by things like self-pity, frustration, or maybe a sense of inferiority. Because of this, it's almost like these negative forces act as really strict tutors. If you look closely at the exact type of negativity bothering you, it'll actually reveal your own internal misalignments. Kind of makes you think, right?
Moving on to Section 2, Clearing the Mental Clouds.
To help us understand how these internal vulnerabilities actually form, the author uses this brilliant weather metaphor. Imagine a sky completely covered in rain clouds. That's a clouded mind. But here's the catch. Above those clouds, the sun is always shining. That sun represents pure positivity, happiness, and spiritual light. The light itself never goes away. It's just temporarily blocked by our own mental rain clouds. So to feel that warmth again, we don't have to literally create the sun. We just need to figure out what our specific rain clouds are made of and sweep them away.
So what exactly are those clouds made of? Well, it really boils down to a core difference in mindset. Take the clouded mind. This is when we blame the outside world. You know the drill, saying things like, the system is rigged, or my company treats me terrible, or even, I was just born into the wrong family. The text flags this outward transfer of responsibility as the classic behavior of someone totally consumed by negative energy. The cure? The reflective mind. This demands absolute, radical personal accountability. The moment you start blaming others, you're basically rolling out the red carpet for negativity.
Section 3, Power of Self-Reflection.
To patch up these vulnerabilities and honestly just stop blaming the world, the text introduces our main line of defense, self-reflection. And this is deeply anchored in the Buddhist concept of the Eightfold Path. The progression kicks off with right effort, which is striving to improve yourself, but doing it humbly, without a trace of arrogance. Negativity absolutely loves arrogance. After that comes right mindfulness. This means actively and constantly checking your daily thoughts, and the second you feel them drifting into complaint or anxiety, you actively steer them back toward the light.
The crucial takeaway here is that this kind of rigorous daily self-reflection acts like a polishing process for your mind. The source text explains that negativity loves to prey on our extremes, right? Those dark gaps, those weird little dents, or an overinflated ego. By reflecting every single day, you literally smooth out those edges. You end up creating this polished, perfectly balanced self that has zero gaps or dents for external negativity to hook onto.
Section 4, Embracing Bright Thoughts.
Okay, but what do you do when you're already stuck deep in the dark? This is where we shift from defense to offense. The text introduces a concept called bright thought. This is a super proactive method for breaking through those really intense periods of spiritual darkness. And the text is super clear about this. Trying to directly fight or wrestle with darkness and negative spirits is incredibly difficult. You'll just exhaust yourself. Instead, this principle elegantly shifts your strategy. You just use all of your energy to turn on the light.
Think about it like this. Picture a completely pitch-black room. You can't just scoop the darkness out with the bucket, right? But the second you light a single candle, it instantly banishes the darkness from that entire room. Emitting your own internal light by deliberately focusing on bright, positive, constructive thoughts does the exact same thing. It naturally repels negative energy. You don't fight the dark, you just shine.
Section 5, Immersion in Meaningful Work. So, once you've done the work, you've reflected on your flaws, you've lit that internal candle, how do you make absolutely sure the negativity doesn't just come right back?
The answer here is self-conviction and immersion. By building strong self-conviction and maintaining a deep immersion in work for the sake of others, you occupy your mind so completely that no new gaps can even form. The text points out something really interesting. People who suffer a lot from negativity usually have way too much idle time, and that creates a gap in the heart where anxiety just creeps right in. Whether you throw yourself into a dedicated career, start a demanding new course of study, or dive deep into a creative pursuit, fully devoting yourself to a constructive task leaves literally no room for evil spirits to enter. It forces you to look forward, and it turns all your past struggles into incredibly valuable teachers.
And when you apply all these techniques, when you diagnose your rain clouds, practice daily self-reflection, emit bright thoughts, and really immerse yourself in meaningful work, you cultivate what the author calls an unshakable mind. You become as sturdy and resilient as a deeply rooted tree, standing totally firm no matter what external pressures or negative forces the world throws at you. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. What mental rain clouds will you clear today to let your own light shine through? Take a moment to really ask yourself how you can apply these steps right now. How can you stop blaming the external world, take radical personal responsibility, and permanently fortify your own peace of mind? Thanks so much for exploring this with us today. Keep striving toward the light.